Hello my lovelies, so this is Lizzie from Love from Lizzie, and today I'm bringing you 3 cards and a run through of the Seaside Days mega pack. I did release this last summer in time for all the sunshine, but have restocked and it's proven to be so popular, and with the time of year that we're currently in, I thought it was perfect to make some cards with. So I've just shown you there the A5 cling mount stamp. I'm whizzing through all of these. Those first 2 designs were a material finish, then we've got spot gloss across these. These are all 8x8, you get 2 of each, and as I always say, one's to use and one's to keep. These pebbles are dry embossed, as are these like knots. So this is quite a nautical themed mega pack. However, it's not in your traditional colours. So I mean, look, it's got fish and chips, for goodness sake. How British can you get? We've got some nice lighthouses and the waves in the back there in spot gloss. And now these are all double-sided papers. So as you can, with the way that I set these up when I'm looking at them, is that I turn one round one way and one the other way, so that when I flick through I can see all of the patterns all at once. But as you can see, there is a whole array. There's 32 sheets of 8x8 paper in total, and they're really nice, thick, heavy quality. You also, in this mega pack, get some steel cutting dies. You've got a helm, a boat, a lighthouse, an anchor, a hoy, a chain, and a portcullis. And then there's also 2 sheets of Love from Lizzie mirror cardstock in A4. So we're into my first card here. Now, this was something that I'd sort of seen a while ago and wanted to give a try to and put a personal spin on. So all I've done, marked out in pencil a couple of strips down the centre of the card, and then I've laid some masking tape down to try to protect a certain portion of the card. And I'm using the stamp here in my Misty, so I've taken out the black foam, and here you'll see I'm just embossing up, having used my anti-static powder tool, using my Versamark, just on one half of it, as it were, on one side, and I'm just popping all the embossing powder on. I'm not worried too much if it goes onto that masking tape, because I'll be peeling that away anyway. And then I heat set that up. I'm just using the Love from Lizzie Silver Dollar embossing powder, which isn't quite yet released, so it's a little bit sneaky of me, but it will be coming very, very soon, my lovelies. And so now I'm just stamping up the other side of that panel and using my Versamark anti-static powder tool, and so much in the same way. The thing is, I have gone over my pencil lines a little bit, but I knew that I'd be doing this, so it doesn't matter. So I'm just cutting now along my pencil lines. You could use your trimmer if you prefer to use a trimmer, but I actually quite like using scissors and a craft knife. So I just cut those pieces away and then gently peeled back the painter's tape to leave sort of the relief part there. And because this was a standard card panel, I'm just trimming 1/4 of an inch off the bottom and off the narrower side, because I wanted that to be super narrow, just so that it was a bit smaller than my card base, which is 5.5 by 4.25. And here I'm just popping the foam back in. And I've chosen a sentiment which is from Lawn Fawn, and it says Happy Housewarming. It's one of their newer ones, and I've just used some VersaFine on the back on that there. Here I'm putting some of my Big Mama Scotch foam. I don't think that will ever become easy to handle. I have to sit right back. And there I'm just using one of the narrower ones I've got, and then I'm using the patterned paper, which actually coordinates with the stamp. And I'm marking off, using a pencil again, the size it needs to be, and then I attach that onto the card base and take the foam tape off. So there we go. Card 2, I'm creating a top folding card base this time, which measures 5.5 by 4.25 as well. And I make my card bases in all the same way. And here I've just taken a tag die, and I am using some painter's tape to hold it in place, and I'm cutting down my patterned paper, as I've only got my cuttle bag at the studio. I do need to move my big shot across, and here you can see that I'm die cutting some silver mirror, and those 2 smaller ones die cut beautifully the first time, but with the anchor, where it's so intricate, it didn't want to cut very well, so I turned it upside down and it worked a treat. So if you've got intricate dies that don't seem to want to cut, that might be something that works for you. Here I'm cutting an 1.5 inch wide strip of anchors. Then I use my ATG gun to attach it onto the front of my card base, slightly over to the left, and then just flip it over to trim that off. And then I'm using some Love from Lizzie silver mirror peel-offs, and they are in, this is the medium width that I'm using on either side of the pattern paper, and then I'm using a skinny one right at the bottom of the tag, and I'm double striping it. And here I'm putting all my little silver pieces through my Xyron machine. The Xyron machine and I are not busy buds right now. It's I'm finding it a little bit difficult because obviously I want to use it for all my really intricate pieces, but then I don't find the adhesive wants to stick to just where I want it, just on the embellishment. It sort of sticks in between, and I have to use like a pokey tool in between the little loops to make sure it's all stuck down. It's fine now that I know, but with the punchinella it was a bit of a disaster. So there we go, and then I'm just popping some foam tape up onto the back of my tag, and then I attach that onto the front, trim the top of the chain down, and that's my second card. So here's the third card. Again, I'm making a nice top folding card base. This is probably my favourite card base to make. And then I'm just using some more of the patterned papers. I wanted to try and sort of build a little scene in this one, so quite out of my comfort zone, but I wanted to try and give you some different ideas. And here I have measured up some beach huts, and I'm just trimming a row of them out. I only want the one row, and then I fussy cut around the roofs, and watching me fussy cut is painful, so I've just edited all of that out for you. Here you'll see me attach down some of that green polka dots using the ATG gun right to the top of my card base, and then turn it over and trim off the excess. And then here I'm just using my trimmer to snip out some of these waves, and then again you're going to see me doing some fussy cutting here. So I mean, if anyone's got any tips and tricks, I mean, I move it with the paper, and I don't know if it's because I'm a lefty, but this, maybe the blades are sitting around the wrong way. Perhaps I really should use left-handed scissors for this, but it drives me around the bend. Okay, I've just attached my little sailboat onto some silver mirror, and I learnt from my last one, and I've put it face up first off, and it cut like a charm. So there we go for intricate dies. Okay, so here I've chosen some of the waves, and I'm just using my little Fiskars craft knife there to cut along the waves. Use some glossy accents with my precision tip to just pop behind on the sailboat, and then I just tuck the hull of the boat into the top of those waves, just so that it looks a little bit more organic than the sailboat being sat on top. And then I mark all the way around the edge with a pencil to where I would like to have it cut, and then use my trimmer to make sure I get nice straight lines. I was quite loose with the pencil so that I would have a little bit of wriggle room so I could trim off at the end. And here I'm just playing with this sentiment. This came in the Love from Lizi New Beginning stamp set. It was my January kit, and it says let your dreams set sail. So I heat emboss that using the Love from Lizi silver dollar embossing powder again, and I love how shiny it is. I know it's mine, so I'm going to be biased, but it's pretty amazing. And here I'm using a layer of foam, Scotch foam adhesive just behind those little beach huts, and I line up my C to make sure that I place it correctly, turn it over and trim off the bits that are hanging over. And then because I've put a single layer of foam behind the beach huts, I'm actually going to put 2 layers of foam behind the C to raise that out a bit further, just to give it some more dimension and give a bit of pop. And so then once I've done that, I pop that onto the front, and I give it a little trim around the edges once again, and that will complete my third card. So these are the 3 cards. This mega pack is available in the shop. I do hope you like it. Please let me know which of course is your favourite, and until next time, do take care. Thanks for sticking with me till the end, and happy paper crafting. Thank you, lovelies. Bye.